I'm Rob Kaiser, publisher of Greater Wilmington Business Journal. We have a great panel with us today to talk about downtown. If you have a question during the discussion, please text it in or have someone in your table text it in for you. The number is in your program. It's 910-264-8955. Please include your name and table number with the text along with your question. We'll bring microphones around so some people can ask their questions directly to the panel, and I'll ask some of the questions too. Before we start, I'd like to thank the organizations that make the Power Breakfast series possible. You'll hear from our two presenting sponsors in a minute. They are Cusick Financial Group and Smith Moore Leatherwood. And our corporate sponsors are A&B Personnel Services, A Creative Touch, First Federal, Genesis Global, Hedrick Gardner, McGladrey, McGuire Woods, New Hanover Regional Medical Center, North Carolina Ports, Time Warner Cable Business Class, UNCW's Cameron School of Business, Wachovia Bank, Williams Mullen, and WILM TV. If we could please have a round of applause for all of our sponsors. We'll now hear from Pat Cusick with Cusick Financial Group, and then Jill Raspet of Smith Moore Leatherwood.
Good morning. I'm Pat Cusick, president of Cusick Financial Group. We're an independent financial services firm, and I'm affiliated with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. We're part of a network of almost 13,000 advisors across the country providing conflict-free financial planning services, investment advice, and financial management services through LPL Financial. From your personal investment portfolio to your company's 401k, we can provide the objective advice, appropriate products, and executive service that my clients have come to expect and deserve. And if you're not getting that now, maybe it's time for a change. Now, last year we put together a financial toolbox. I think a few people in the room might remember that toolbox, filled with levels, planes, and other tools necessary to build a sound retirement for our future. This year, we're continuing to fill that toolbox with all the items that provide the final touches on your financial and retirement plans, tools that complete a strong and a deep foundation. Over and over again in my work, we find that people don't take the time to get their affairs in order. They simply don't want to discuss what might happen when they get sick or they die, or how their death might affect the causes that they cared about and the people that they most loved while they were alive. Today, let's look at what happens to your assets when you die. I'm talking about estate planning, which usually requires the daunting task of finding an honest and ethical attorney. And despite all the lawyer jokes you may have heard, our community has many honest and ethical attorneys from which to choose. Now, this is not for burying an attorney. That's not what this is. Let's talk about estate planning that builds the foundation for ensuring that your legacy is just what you intended it to be. Just like this shovel digs the foundation for any structure, from a simple building to the most complex skyscraper. Nothing begins without a firm foundation. With a weak foundation, even the tallest of skyscrapers can tumble. Now, estate planning can be as simple as a one-page will or as elaborate as a full-blown trust document. But there are probably more misconceptions and misunderstanding around estate planning than any topic that I know. Your estate plan doesn't need to be carved into stone. It can be revised as your life circumstances change. The cost to do this important planning does not have to be a great expense either. In fact, it's well worth the investment. And as with other important life decisions, it's critical for you to do your research, find a good professional that you trust, and then put a plan into action. Now, there aren't many promises in life, but there is one thing I can promise you with the utmost conviction today, that if planning for how your assets will be distributed and used after you die is overlooked, your heirs will regret it, and you, long after you are gone. As we work with our clients to grow and preserve their wealth and to prepare for their retirement, we strongly urge them to do their estate planning. If it seems like a daunting task, just take a deep breath and give me a call. I can help you through the process. perhaps even help you find one of those honest and ethical attorneys. Do it for yourself, for your spouse, for your family, and for the causes that are important to you now. They'll love you forever. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming this morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jill Raspet, and I am a partner with Smith Moore Leatherwood. Smith Moore has been in the Wilmington area since 2005, but the firm's history actually dates back 90 years in North Carolina. Now we have 7 offices across 3 states, including our most recently opened office in Charleston, South Carolina. While Smith Moore is a full-service law firm, the 8 attorneys in our Wilmington office focus their practice areas in commercial real estate, corporate, litigation, healthcare, and my practice area, trusts and estates. So I appreciate Pat's comments. Very timely this morning. Since opening our office here in 2005, Smith Moore has been committed to the downtown Wilmington area. But we actually have the privilege of working with 2 lawyers, David Barefoot and Frank Martin, who combined have been practicing downtown for more than 80 years. And so I know we are all looking forward this morning to hearing from our panel. And so I will turn the program back over to Rob so we can get started.
Thank you, Jill and Pat. In our advertisements for this breakfast, we said if you ask 10 people for their views on downtown, you'll get 12 different opinions. Today we're going to talk to 5 excellent panelists to see if we can find some consensus. We have with us today, starting from my left, Chris Boney from LS3P Architects and the Chamber's Cape Fear Future Initiative. Next to him is New Hanover and Pender County District Attorney Ben David, then Wilmington Mayor Bill Saffo, Bill Sharbaugh, Chief Operating Officer of PPD, and David Spatrino, owner of Plantation Building Corp. And chairman of Wilmington Downtown, Inc. Will you please have a round of applause for our panel for joining us? Now, this panel is a little different than ones we've had in the past. I learned starting out right away because they organized a lunch for themselves before this even happened. It was kind of a pre-meeting for this. So there's already been one productive discussion. And I think this is kind of a group of 5 business-minded folks who really want this session to be productive and find some solutions. So that is the charge in front of us today. The thing I walked away from the lunch with, if you want to frame this discussion relatively easily, the goal is how do we get more businesses downtown, more residents downtown, and more tourists downtown? And I think there's a lot of issues we can dig into around that, but when you look back to the core of this, that's the issue before us. So I'm going to ask the mayor to get us started, because I think any discussion you have about downtown, you have to look a little bit about the history of downtown. And so we've asked the mayor to put in perspective for us where is downtown today versus where it was when he grew up here and earlier. So, Mayor, if you could get us started.
Thank you. I would like to also recognize we have several council members that are with me here today. Councilmember Grady, Sparks, Padgett, and Rivenbark. And I don't know if Mayor Pro Tem Sheridan is here or not, but I do want to recognize them because they have been very instrumental in helping us move a lot of the initiatives about downtown forward. I also like to recognize my good friend, former Mayor Pro Tem Jim Quinn, that I believe is also with us. Jim has been a big supporter of this convention center and a lot of the initiatives that we have undertaken downtown. Downtown has definitely evolved. I was born here in 1960. Literally, within a 10-block area of this building, I spent my entire young life. Parents were born here. My dad was born here. Anyway, our entire life revolved around downtown. I've seen a tremendous transformation of downtown. The downtown that I grew up in, the downtown that I knew, was something that was very energetic in the beginning. You had a lot of the department stores down here, a lot of restaurants down here. Downtown was the center of this community, of this entire region. And then slowly in the 70s, a lot of that left. And business people started scratching their head. What are we going to do about downtown? And there was all kinds, as Rob said, all kinds of opinions about what should we do. Should we make an open air mall? We need more parking. We need more park space. What are we going to do about downtown? And downtown, if you look at some of the pictures in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, looked pretty daggone shabby. And, you know, it took vision. It took community leaders coming together, formulating a plan, and saying, let's move forward with that. That's from the public sector side, but there was also a lot of investment that took place from the private sector. Let's take into consideration that a lot of what you see happening in the historic district are individual homeowners that have taken the challenge of maintaining and taking care of those homes and are spending a tremendous amount of money in doing that. In addition to that, individuals that also have come downtown to refurbish a lot of the old buildings. So there was a lot of private investment that has also gone into this. So we are, you know, evolving, and we have a Vision 2020 plan that was put together by stakeholders. And each city council, going back probably into the mid-1970s, has taken steps to implement a lot of that particular plan. 2004, the city council upgraded or updated that plan with the EDOL plan. It was a group that came in from Alexandria, Virginia, and gave us some additional recommendations and updated that plan, and the council continues to move forward with that. Obviously, people come up to me and say, Bill, we want to do it now. And sometimes we can do that, and sometimes we can't, based on what we're dealing with in respect to funding. But I believe that every city council and future councils will continue to make improvements to downtown. Just to give you a recap of what we've done in the last 5 years, we've spent $17 million just in this general area, just in infrastructure improvements, Nut Street realignment, stormwater, Riverwalk expansion. We have built a $62 million convention center that I think is very popular and continues to attract people to our community. That was a tremendous commitment by this city council, previous councils, and this community, as well as the state legislature that gave us the opportunity to get the room occupancy tax to pay for it. The private investment by PPD of over $60 million behind us is incredible and is transforming this whole downtown northern riverfront. In addition to what Eric McKeith and the Cape Fear Community College is doing now with Union Station and the parking decks down here. City Council has also appropriated in the last about two meetings ago $8.5 million to redo 3rd Street, $2.6 million to redo Front Street. Now we have the wider sidewalks, we have outdoor cafes. We've invested in our culture and our arts down here, $3 million in Thalian Hall, $2.4 million into the Community Arts Center. We continue to make public investments of probably over $100 million just in the last 5 years, following what the private sector has also done. So it's been a very good partnership. So we continue to evolve, and this is a work in progress. And the good thing about it is there's a lot of people that are excited again about downtown Wilmington, and that's a very good thing because we are still the center of this community and this region because we have two counties that literally merge right here in downtown Wilmington. Brunswick County, which is one of the fastest growing counties in the country and one of the fastest growing counties in the state, that merge right here. And our bedroom community today for downtown is Leland. And if you go down to the farmers market on a Saturday, you'll find the vast majority of those people that are visiting our farmers market are coming from the other side of the bridge, which is a lot quicker for them to come here than it is for me to come here from where I'm living. So this area will continue to prosper. This particular downtown area is going to continue to evolve, and I am very excited about it. And I know and I also want to give a lot of credit to our city manager, our city staff, and to the elected officials that have made some very, very tough decisions in making certain that we put in the infrastructure and make the improvements necessary to attract the private sector to come back downtown and invest.